Let's see. Let's see how awkward a position I can put myself into.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, we are live.
Oh.
Hi, Dr. T.
Hey, Jim.
Happy Wednesday. You know what? That's becoming my favorite part of the Wednesdays is your hey, Jim. It's so friendly. It makes me feel like I'm supposed to be here. You know, you make me feel like I'm something, Dr. T.
Oh, because you are. That's my gift.
You think? Okay. Hi there, folks. Welcome to our live stream. This is going to be awesome. I'm really excited about tonight. I'm really excited. I get excited about every week, Dr. Tiff, but I know the testimonial that I brought here. I've known now for about a year. I feel like it's been a year and a half, and I'm excited to hear what she has to say. So, folks, welcome to our live stream. My name is Jim, and I used to be a type 2 diabetic. And I got introduced to a system called the Unicity Field Rate System by a mutual friend of Dr. Tiffany and I. And I ended up deciding to go and start promoting it and talking about it. I went to TikTok and started talking about it. I have reversed type 2 diabetes. I no longer have high cholesterol, high blood pressure. I don't have irritable bowel syndrome. I don't have acid reflux. I don't have migraines anymore. It just seems like all around, I just feel like a way better version of myself. Like Dr. Tiff, I can almost say that I feel like I'm in my early 20s, ish, mid 20s. Anyway, I feel absolutely amazing. And I went to TikTok and started talking about this. And along the way, I think I've seen no fewer than 100 people reverse type 2 diabetes. And that's kind of silly. Something that I think we thought was unattainable just like 5 years ago. And I met Dr. Tiff along the way, and we decided to do this live stream. I've never really gotten into this kind of detail, but we decided 2 years ago, I feel like, to do this live stream, and then we started doing it about a year ago. Yeah. We were talking about it a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Maybe so.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. We were talking about it long before it actually came to fruition. So, Dr. Tiff, why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Well, hello, everyone. I am Dr. Tiffany Marie. I am a family practice doctor that's been practicing for 20 years who just got tired of writing prescriptions. And once life took a left turn, I decided I wanted to figure out what was going to make me enjoy medicine again. And then I started looking into things like lifestyle medicine, which is about going after the root causes of conditions and helping people need less meds, like literally. So instead of writing them, helping people need less. So the last 3 years or so, I was doing virtual primary care, taking care of people across the country. And of course, I got to see just how sick we as a nation are. And it became more imperative for me to shout it from the rooftops. And so I started getting on social media. I got connected with our mutual friend. And now I'm talking about these products. And then I ended up being able to get trained and certified by Dr. Ben Bickman, one of the leading authorities in insulin resistance, and getting a certification in metabolic health coaching. And so I am living my best life now because I found this product that is saving lives. I was able to get off of my blood pressure medicine. My brother was able to get his happy tail out the ICU and get off of insulin, Trulicity, metformin, and countless others. And I got to meet up with Jim, and Jim's story alone. If y'all don't know Jim's story, come on. That's enough to make everybody want to scream from the rooftops. And so here I am every Wednesday.
It's getting deep all over here. Building me up. Dr. Tiff, talking about Dr. Ben Bickman real quick. You know, I want to share something real quick, Dr. Tiff. You were talking about Dr. Bickman. I was just I just went to Google and put his name in today. Blow this thing up. Just go into Google and typing in his name. Look what Google AI says about him. Dr. Ben Bickman is a leading expert in metabolic health, particularly focusing on insulin resistance and its connection to chronic diseases. He is a professor at Brigham Young University and director of their diabetes research lab. Dr. Bickman's work emphasizes the role of insulin as a regulator of human metabolism and its relevance to conditions like obesity, type 2 diabetes, and dementia. When Dr. Tiffany says that, you know, he is her mentor, I mean, she's literally learning from the best of the best. He's widely perceived to be one of the top metabolic scientists in the world. And you know what? While we're here, I'm going to put in a little plug for him. Why we get sick. If anybody is interested in, you know, getting educated on why we're getting sick. This book right here is an absolute game changer. And I might as well put in another plug for a gentleman named Dr. Jason Fung, who forwarded this book. Now, Dr. Jason Fung has written a lot of books like the Diabetes Code, the Cancer Code, the Obesity Code. I've got Life in the Fasting Lane right here. I don't know if you guys did this or not, but when he wrote Life in the Fasting Lane, he asked for certain people to endorse it. Dr. Ben Dickman.
Sure enough.
These two guys are actual friends. They're both in this metabolic health kind of realm, this holistic functional medicine type thing where it's more let's talk about root cause type stuff rather than medications. Mm-hmm. Anyway, both of these two gentlemen, along with a lot of other world-class doctors, and they're going to be speaking at a Unicity convention in November in Orlando, Florida. And I'll put in a little plug for that. If there's anybody that wants to attend that, just let Dr. Tiff or I know, and we will show you how to do that. Just get with either one of us. But this is going to be an absolutely amazing convention. There will be Dr. Nina Teicholz, Dr. Jamie Seaman. I know that I'm just missing them. Tina Moore, Dr. Tina Moore. This is going to be absolutely fascinating. So if you're interested in this type of place, that would be an excellent convention to be to. But back to this live stream here. If you've been invited to this live stream, it means that the information that we're going to be talking about in this, somebody thinks could change your life, literally could change your life. And we've seen this live stream week after week literally make dramatic changes to people's lives, to their lives. They get healthy. They find hope. I think that's the biggest thing. That's my favorite thing about this, Dr. Tiffany, is I feel like people lose hope. I feel like they get gun shy. They don't want to go talk to their doctor because the doctor's going to say, I told you had to eat better and you're not doing that. So now I got to up your medications. I told you to work harder and you're not doing that. Now we got to up the medications. And they're saying, I'm eating salad. I'm doing everything I can. I don't know what's going on. It's not working. Am I just an anomaly? And people start to feel like they're about this big and they lose hope. Yeah. And what I like most about this live stream is week in, week out, we give people hope. Mm-hmm. And the testimonials that are coming into this, as you guys listen to this, listen for that little glimmer of hope. You'll hear people week in and week out talking about that. That's my favorite thing, Dr. Tiff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you've been invited to this, that means that somebody thinks that this live stream could dramatically change your life. We are live across like 15 different platforms. We're everywhere right now. If you're on those platforms and this protocol has done that sort of thing to you, if you feel like it has changed your life, if you feel like, you found hope and you want to share that, this is a perfect time to do that. And in fact, I'm going to encourage everybody listening right now to share this. Share it with 5 people. Yes. If you're on Facebook, all you have to do is type the little @ symbol and then just start typing somebody's name. Type their name. If you're on YouTube, we're broadcasting on YouTube. Both Dr. Tiff and I have Facebook as well as YouTube channels. We're on both of those. So whichever one you're on, just share that out. If you're on TikTok, we're live on TikTok. That little arrow at the bottom of the screen, hit that little arrow, share it out. Share this thing to anybody and everybody that you can. And let's make a goal right now. If everybody can share this out to 5 people on whatever platform you're on, let's make a difference. I see Kim Carr over on Facebook says, changed mine for sure. We interviewed Kim, what was it, about 2 months ago, it feels like, Dr. Tiff.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing testimonial. Okay, so, and I'm reading real quick from TikTok. Tanya Lee says, put type 2 and high blood pressure behind me, off 4 meds, down 45 pounds, reduced 24/7 oxygen therapy use of 17 years to nighttime only. So Brandon over on TikTok is saying I shared it to everyone. Guys, sit back, enjoy the show. This is going to be amazing. Dr. Tiff.
Yes.
Where do you want to start with?
Well, you know what? I'm always partial to my guests.
I knew it.
I'm always partial. But unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to meet your guest. But I love Miss Veronica's story. I mean, if y'all have some tissue somewhere nearby, you need to go on and grab them. I just love the fact that we're not only hope dealers, as someone tried to call me. And I actually latched onto that. I like that title. But we get to see people reclaim their lives in a way that no one told them they could. Too many doctors were like, no, you're not going to be able to do this again. You're not going to be able to do that again. And we see people defy that on a regular basis. So go ahead, Miss Veronica. Thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to hear you share.
Hello, everyone. Well, I
Hello.
was I was diagnosed with this autoimmune disease. Um, First, I'm gonna tell you about my story. Um, in July of this year, I was rushed to the hospital, and I was in very, very, very bad shape. And they put me in the hospital at UAH, and I was at the baddest shape I could be. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I couldn't sip water. I had lost 40 pounds in 2 weeks. And I didn't even know what was wrong with me at that time. And but I was diagnosing me and running a lot of tests on me. And by the time I got through with running a lot of tests on me, I was diagnosed with a autoimmune disease called dermatomyositis, which is a muscle weakness all over your entire body that weakens your whole body all at one time. Which I couldn't eat any food. I couldn't move my arms up. I couldn't move. I could barely walk. I couldn't sit up. I couldn't do anything. And when I got home, I definitely couldn't do anything when I got out the hospital. But before I got out the hospital, I was introduced to this product, and I was drinking it while I was in the hospital. And so I was feeling so much better in less than 2 days. I had just a lot of energy, and I didn't have any energy at first. And then when I got home, I started on the product, and I promise you, everything was just going so fast. I mean, it was just like, and I was only in the hospital in July. Then it's only September now. And now I can walk. I can move my arms up. I can do everything. I can get out of bed. I couldn't even do none of that. The information is just that I could, and then the doctor said, "Are you in pain?" And I said, "No, I'm not in pain because I'm supposed to be in severe pain as this disease that I have, but I haven't heard it since I've been on the product." And it's amazing because I'm doing everything, and I know it's the product because I'm not on anything else. So that first time they tried to take it, I was in the hospital. I didn't know why. They said, "Well, you can't take that," and I was like, "Well, why?" And they took it away from me. And after I had been on it for 2 days, but they had took it away from me at first. But when I got home, I decided I got back on it, and it's just amazing. I can tell you that this is amazing because I was looking like death. I was dying. I was dying. I mean, my face was just black. I mean, really black, really, really black. And I didn't even know who I was at one time. I didn't know who I was. And all of a sudden I got home and then things started, and my face started coming back to my color because this is getting way better, way better. My color's getting back, and I'm doing it and doing it, and my life just changed because I was working 3 jobs, and I couldn't, at the point I couldn't even work. I couldn't even work when I got home. And it was just so bad. And all of a sudden I'm getting back to where I am. I'm getting back to where I can go back to work soon. And I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy that it is changing because I didn't know what I was taking. But I put my faith in God, and I put my faith in, and I prayed over this, and I took it. I did it every day like I was supposed to do. The product, and the product helped me, and it's amazing. I promise you. And I advise anybody to at least try it, because it helped me. It helped me. I wouldn't be here today, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today. It didn't even take that long. I thought that my diagnosis would be taking this stuff, it'll be a year. I get better in about a year or two, because if you read up on immune system disease. You'll see people saying, well, I've been dealing with this for 3 years, 4 years. And look at me. Look at me. It's only been like 3 months after I start well, not three months since July.
2 months.
2 months. And look at me. And it's just amazing. I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy.
Just
so happy.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I didn't want to cover her face up too much with that picture, but it is like night and day, those pictures and the splotches on your face.
And when I look at that, I cry about that because that picture, oh my God. And I just didn't understand any of this. I never even heard of disease before. I never heard of it. And when you read about it, it's more scarier it's more scary reading about it. Because you can die from this without being treated.
Yes. Dermatomyositis.
Veronica, how did you hear about this?
I did. I went into the hospital, and I went into the hospital, and first they were saying something was going on with my heart. And everybody think I was having a heart attack and a stroke at the same time, but it wasn't. It was just because my enzymes was high. But see, when I went to UAH, they did more tests and MRIs and all that. So they then they did a biopsy, and they did a biopsy on me, and they found out and they found out that I had it. And then no, I take that back. They did a skin biopsy first, and then they did blood work, and they said I had it. Then they said they was going to do a biopsy of my left thigh, my right thigh. But when they did it, after I started drinking the product, when I got out of the hospital, I went to the rheumatologist. You know, you don't go into a month later after you did get a appointment. So when I came back, when I got to him, he did the test, and he said, well, there's no showing that you have it in your skin. That was amazing. That was amazing. It was amazing because I had been taking the product already. So it didn't get all in my skin.
How did you find out about the products?
When I found out about the product, that was at the product that when I was in the hospital, Myra looked at me and she said she put me on the product. She talked to me about the product. She said, no. She looked at me and said, you got to get on this. She told me about it. She had already told me about it at first. But I was like, before I found out about the sickness. And then when she told me about the hospital, she said, you got to get on it now. And while I was in the hospital, she put me on it. While I was in there.
I'm fascinated, by the way. You've got me hooked, Veronica. I'm like, okay. I'm in. I'm committed to this story.
Yes.
Had she ever told you about the products before this?
Yes, she did. She actually did.
And you didn't do anything.
You didn't take it. I didn't take it. I didn't take it. I was just all over the place because I was just ripping around and doing my job, and I was working like 3 jobs. So I was like, I'm not even. I was like, not even. It wasn't that I had to sit down and just focus on it. But
I think there's something here, and I don't know where I'm going with this. So Dr. Tiff, if I start to step on my words, you guys just tell me to shut up. But for some reason, we don't listen to our friends and family.
No, we don't.
We don't. And what it sounds to me like is she tried to approach you with this, hey, this stuff would help you. Mm-hmm. And you said no, or you maybe didn't even say no. Maybe you just stopped answering the phone or stopped.
Yeah, that was before I found out about the dermatomyositis.
I know. And now you're in the hospital, and Myra kind of got you in a bit of a precarious position. She's like, well, guess what you're doing now? Here, drink.
Just like my story with my brother.
Yeah. And so I guess I want to use this as a coachable moment. Not that anybody's asking me for any coaching at all, but I want to use this as a coachable moment. If this live stream has been shared to you by one of your friends or family members, they think that this could have this sort of effect on you before you land in the damn hospital.
Yes.
Right.
Before you get there. Don't be that guy. Don't be Veronica.
Don't be my brother.
Please don't be me.
Okay. So I hope I put that the way it needed to come out. But Veronica, that was beautiful. Dr. Tiff, what do you have
Yes.
to add to
It was so awesome. So many people don't know about your condition.
Yeah.
There's so many autoimmune conditions, and we're going to go into that a little bit later, that are difficult to treat. There aren't great medications for these things. So you just end up in pain and miserable. And when it's affecting your skin, sometimes you feel unsightly. You
Yeah.
know, when some of these pictures that I'll pull up of Veronica, she's like posing in the picture because now she thinks she's cute. I was joking with Myra now. I was like, she thought she was cute in that picture. And so that stuff is our quality of life. That makes so much. It makes everything. When we're happy within ourselves and our health comes out from the inside out, it is everything. So I love your story. Thank you so much, Veronica. I'm so happy you came on.
I do too. So, Veronica, what I would love to do is I'd like to turn off your camera right now, but I don't want you to leave. I want you to stick around till the end of the live stream. I want to bring you back at the end of the live stream for anybody that might have any questions for you. Is that cool?
Yes.
Okay. You are amazing, Dr. Tiff.
Yes.
You know what? I feel sorry for Bianca. I was really excited about Bianca's got some big shoes to fill there.
Oh, whatever.
Bianca's backstage going, thanks, Jim.
I know. Yes, she is. No, I'm here for you, Bianca.
That was powerful, Dr. Tiff. Jeez.
It was. So I guess it's important for us to talk about what we're dealing with, because everybody doesn't have a story like Veronica's, right? Everybody doesn't. And so when we understand what we're actually treating with these products, then we start to see how far our reach is. So we're trying to deal with the problem that is getting rid of us, that is taking us out, literally. And that's cardiometabolic health. And Jim, you do see this, right? And so 93% of Americans very likely are struggling with their cardiometabolic health because only 7% of Americans don't have good health. Okay.
I do see it.
Okay. Don't have good health. And so 1 in 3 adults are dealing with metabolic syndrome, which is part of this metabolic health. And the medications we prescribe a lot to try to help people as physicians are your statins. And when you look at their side effect profile on things like PDR.net, you see that, shoot, they actually cause diabetes, which is insulin resistance to the nth degree. But if we actually make lifestyle changes, that's when we can improve our metabolic health up to 39%. And so some would say, okay, why does it sound like new news to me? It's not. I mean, for years, heart disease has been the number one killer, and it still is. It still is, people. This is from 2022, so that number is just getting worse. Why is that still the number one killer if we're making great decisions and teaching you all how to affect and change your health and giving you prescriptions? Because what we're doing isn't working. And so looking at the root cause, which is what got me down this rabbit hole, is what changes everything. When you realize that insulin resistance is at the root of the heart disease, even cancer, fatty liver, PCOS, the leading cause of infertility, diabetes, dementia, I mean, and so many more things. I mean, look at this picture, people. So what is insulin resistance? I like to talk about the symptoms to help people understand what we're talking about. And so having cravings for sugar and salty, feeling like you need to eat every couple hours, that fatigue, that itis, that is not just a thing that happens to Black folks. I'm just going to say it because we've said that for years, like that was our thing. No, actually, it's not our thing. It is something that happens when your sugar drops, that fatigue after having that carb heavy meals with so many carb sides. Okay. The dark patches on the neck, those are layering of skin cells, because insulin can act like a growth hormone. And then you have the skin tags for another reason. You get little pockets of skin growth. And like we said, PCOS, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, okay? The brain fog. Now, understanding insulin, it's good for us to understand the macronutrients. You have your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats. That's what our food gets broken down to when we eat. And so your carbohydrates, which is the red line, when you eat that, it makes your pancreas have to release a lot of insulin to get that glucose, because carbohydrates breaking down into a good amount of glucose, to get that glucose into the cells to use it for energy. And then you have a blue line, which is your protein. That doesn't cause your pancreas to release as much insulin at all. And then your healthy fats, barely any. So if we look at this little picture here to try to give an idea of how we probably got here, how we probably got to insulin resistance, here's a little simple way to explain it. So when you eat breakfast and it's carb heavy, because most of us, it is, your cereal, your oatmeal, your toast, your pancakes, your French toast, right? That's going to be carbohydrates and get broken down into glucose. And so when it does that, your pancreas has to release a good amount of insulin. It does. And so that's why you have that spike there. And then a couple hours later, your sugar drops, you start getting fatigued again, and you want a snack. Well, what snacks are available? I mean, how many times can you get a protein bar as a snack? Not that often. And so it tends to be more carbohydrates. And again, the glucose comes up again, and now you can make an insulin spike again. Then lunch comes. And if it's something your job gives you or something that's quick, most of the time it's going to have carbohydrates. So again, another insulin spike, another glucose spike with your snack, and then dinner and dessert. And what has happened is all day your cells are being bathed in insulin. And insulin is this little black figurine trying to push glucose into the cells to use that energy. But over time, your cells get tired. Your cells stop listening. That's insulin resistance. They literally down regulate the receptors so insulin cannot bind there. That's what happens over time. That's insulin resistance because they're being bathed in the insulin. They figure enough is enough. And so what that leads to, the end result of insulin resistance square, like I like to call it, things like prediabetes. 84.1 million people actually suffer with prediabetes. That's 1 out of 3 people. And then 9 out of 10 are walking around here like they don't have it. And then your type 2 diabetes, 30.3 million people having that. That's 1 out of every 10 people. And then 1 out of every 4 are unaware. And so what happens when you go to the doctor and you're feeling all those symptoms? Right here, you're having all these symptoms, but your doctor's like, oh, your A1C is normal. Your A1C is normal. What's the big whoop? But you're like, no, I know I don't feel good. My uncle has had these same symptoms, and he had type 2 diabetes. He lost his foot. He had a stroke. I know something's wrong with me. Oh, your A1C is normal. You're good. Just lose some weight. And if you guys were able to show me your hands, I bet you've heard that. I bet that's something that you've heard when you've gone to the doctor. So you felt like you weren't heard. You felt frustrated. But when you have a good doctor, your doctor was frustrated too. Unfortunately, they didn't realize that before your A1C goes up, your insulin is high, causing all these symptoms. Okay, all these symptoms and things like high blood pressure. When your insulin is high, what it does is it makes your kidney hold on to sodium. And then because water follows sodium, now your blood volume is increased. Now you have increased blood pressure. But then it also ends up affecting how nitric oxide works. And nitric oxide dilates blood vessels. And so when your blood volume goes up, if your blood vessels don't dilate, well, that's going to make the pressure high too. You have the chronic inflammation that inflames the inner lining of the blood vessel, so that makes it not a smooth surface. So if you're pushing against a bumpy surface, you're going to have to increase the pressure, right? So it does that. And then on the liver, the high insulin, what it does is it makes your liver increases triglycerides. That's why high triglycerides are a good marker that something's going on with your insulin levels. And then it also makes your liver increase that LDL, the small dense particles, the problematic particles that get in the lining of the blood vessels, and it keeps thickening the lining to where it closes it off. And now you're at risk for things like heart attacks or strokes because you're decreasing the blood flow to either the brain or the heart. And then with PCOS, which is the leading cause of infertility for women, it causes ovarian cysts, promotes weight gain, causes problems with hair loss or hair growth in places we aren't supposed to have hair as women, on our face, on our chest, okay? Disrupts menstrual cycles. And so that's how you end up causing infertility. And then with insulin being high, one of the things that comes right along with it is chronic inflammation. And so this chronic inflammation does a lot of things. I'm sure so many of you have heard how inflammation is one of the key factors to all the ills. Well, it goes hand in hand with insulin resistance, okay? Once those fat cells become insulin resistant, they start secreting a product that increases inflammation, okay? So you get things like leaky gut. You get things like gut dysbiosis. Gut dysbiosis is when you have things growing in your gut that aren't supposed to be there. We have trains of bacteria that are there and are supposed to help us break down what we eat, get us the nutrients, get rid of the toxins, and we excrete that stuff out, right? Well, when you have dysbiosis, now you have wrong bacteria. The bad bacteria outnumber the good bacteria. Now you have yeast, and your gut is not functioning the way like it should, and you're not being able to get the nutrients out of the food you're trying to eat. Then on top of this, because there's chronic inflammation, it affects T cell function. And T cells are supposed to tell your body what not to attack. Well, unfortunately, if that's not working well, and you got stuff leaking from your gut because your bad bacteria has been eating the lining of your gut, you got stuff leaking out that's not supposed to be there. Stool, toxins, viruses, that's going in your abdominal cavity, right? And so the T cells are going there to protect you from all that gunk leaking out, but at the same time, it's confused. So it starts attacking you. And that's how you get things like an autoimmune condition, like even Veronica was talking about, or MS, or lupus, or rheumatoid arthritis. And we're seeing people have great results. There is a link between improving the gut and improving autoimmune diseases. So I like to say there's 5 things you can do immediately, because I'm a firm believer that the key to fixing this is in our lifestyle, but because of what we are living in, our environment, the food, where it comes from, our hands are kind of tied. We need something to help. So, 1, trying to eat more low glycemic index carbohydrates is huge, but most of the carbohydrates that are in the grocery store in the middle aisle, those are going to be your processed foods, your chips, your cookies, your crackers, anything that's bagged, barcoded, or boxed. And none of that is helpful for us. We don't even give our dogs processed foods anymore. So we definitely don't need that, right? But then where do we get our low glycemic index carbohydrates? Well, we focus on the fiber. And there's a great website that helps us with identifying what things are low glycemic index, what things are high glycemic index. That's called the glycemic index, okay? And so looking at that is a way to figure out what foods to eat. Now, everybody knows we need to do exercise, but for my ladies on this call, we don't just need to do cardio. We need to do resistance training. Muscle has more insulin receptors on it. So we need more muscle to be able to respond to insulin better, so we can actually improve our insulin sensitivity. And then fasting. Time-based eating is an easy way to say that. And yeah, I went through this because I got excited. The problem with the processed foods, they are addicted. They are addictive. We have people that are literally addicted to sugar. It makes your brain actually kick up dopamine, which is what other addictive substances do. And so that's what happens when you're eating carbohydrates or sweets. And you feel like you just cannot say no. You literally cannot just eat one, right? And that's because our carbohydrates have been stripped of their fiber. That's why you want the low glycemic index carbohydrates. You want things like wild rice. You want the sweet potato over the white potato. But we need this fiber because it helps us with inflammation. And like I said earlier, inflammation is huge, huge. It really affects our gut and causes so many other problems. But at the same time, your fruits and veggies have polyphenols in it that helps decrease insulin, helps improve insulin sensitivity, but also fight inflammation. And the fasting, reason why that's important is because we actually have a detox that happens if we just stop eating. That's it. When you stop eating for 17 hours, then you start tapping into autophagy. This is where your body starts to repair itself. 24 hours, you get the gut health benefits to where you get regeneration of your gut. And we need that. I just said we needed our gut, right? How about 90% of our serotonin levels that are hugely involved in our anxiety and depression are from our gut? So yes, we need our gut functioning well. Okay. And then our immune system, about 60 to 70%, is coming from our gut. And so when we get gut regeneration, that helps. 48 hours, we start to regenerate the dopamine receptors. So people who are dealing with sugar and carbohydrate addictions, or addictions, period, that is helpful for that too. And then we turn around and we have immune system improvement at 72 hours, cognitive function improvement. It becomes a no-brainer. So just stop eating. But if you're somebody struggling with insulin resistance, that's easier said than done. You can't just stop eating. Part of the symptoms of having insulin resistance is you want to snack all the time. So how about having something that turns off the food noise, like a GLP-1? Well, and it also slows gastric emptying. Well, Big Pharma figured this out, and they tried to make something to mimic what we already have in our body. We already have that hormone. And so Ozempic, Wegovy, Rybelsus, all these things were made to try to mimic that, to maximize the effects of that. And what they found is, we're seeing a lot of weight loss, but 40% of that weight loss is from lean muscle mass and bone. Oh, yeah, there's thyroid cancer risk, there's pancreatitis, there's gastroparesis, that's when your gut gets paralyzed, and there's gut perforation, a hole in your gut. Well, we don't need a hole in our gut, people, because like I said, we don't need our gut leaky. We really don't want a hole in it. And then after 2 years of being on these medications, how they turn off the food noise and stop the cravings does not work as well. And over time, they need higher dosages or a different medication. And then the other problem, because you have that weight loss that's more bone and muscle, 40% bone and muscle, you never get back to, when you stop taking it, the weight you gain is mostly fat. So you don't get back to that level of muscle you had before because, one, it stops your ability to make new muscle. So how about let's do this naturally? So let's boost our own GLP-1 that comes from our gut. And if you were listening, I've said gut a lot. Our gut is important. And so Chlorogenic acid, which is in the drink we like to drink, it improves insulin sensitivity, but it also helps glucose uptake in the muscle cells, like I was talking about, reduces inflammation. That's huge, right? But helps with being more efficient in energy usage. So activating the AMPK pathways is what that's about. Now, at the same time, ferulic acid goes to the gut. It gets broken down into a form that allows this GLP-1 to stay at a higher level in our bloodstream. That's huge. Theobromine, which is in this drink that we're drinking too, this extract, it actually helps dilate blood vessels, helps with the mood. Saponins even has some antiparasitic effects. And then the gut. The fiber blend that we do with the gut, we need that for our microbiome because we aren't able to eat these veggies like we want to unless you're growing them in your own soil that you make sure doesn't have any toxins in it. You know what the fertilizer is. You're in an environment that is already fighting against us. So having a fiber blend that gives us some of this fiber back that we're missing is huge. It's huge. Soluble and insoluble, 7-strand fiber blend with multivitamins treating our microbiome. And what's great is we see real results in real people. And so I'd love for you all who are on this call to be able to put your real results in here. And of course, I had to leave with Jim, but I need to update his picture. I'm going all the way to 4.8. I need to update that. But I love this. I love this every time. And these are just a few of the people that have come to understand that insulin resistance is not genetic. It's 100% what we're doing with our lifestyle. We just need some tools to make that easier. And so Jim and I, on here every Wednesday, talk about this stuff. And I guess I need to make a picture for Jim as a superhero too. No, I'm keep this mine. And I feel like I get to empower people to understand their health, to be able to take back control. So I am a doctor who's tired of writing just prescriptions. And you can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or here every Wednesday. That's all I got, Jim.
Yeah, I need to get you another picture, but the more recent picture that I put out there, it's me without a shirt, and that it's disturbing. It's absolutely disturbing. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. But you know what? The funny thing, actually, the picture, and I don't have it. I don't think I have it. Let me just take a quick look. I'm going to take a quick scan, though I don't think that I do. Oh, I do. I do.
Ooh, okay. Let's see it.
Okay. I'm going to apologize in advance. So that right there, I don't know if you can really see it, but if you look behind my eyes on the before picture, the black sunken inness. Now, this was about 2 weeks before I got diagnosed. And of course, I talk about my diagnosis kind of all the time, how I got diagnosed with the 12.2 and the 459 LDL. Like my eyes right there were they were black. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how incredibly sick I was in that picture. I just thought I was a middle American dude, drank beer, sat by the barbecue. I thought that was just what you turned into. And I had no idea. But I think in that picture, I was literally like 1 foot in the grave. It's wow. Crazy to think about how close I was to just abandoning my family. So,
wow.
And I'm sorry for the gratuitous belly shots. There's a lot of people that just saw way too much fur.
Whatever. I love it. We can't appreciate the new Jim without seeing the old Jim. So, yes.
Do that to me.
Amanda says dad bod.
Dad bod, yeah. Okay. Let me bring in Bianca, and I absolutely love this. And Bianca.
Hi.
How are you?
Great. Now I'm on the hot spot. I love Veronica's story. I love that she shared that story. It's amazing.
Yes.
That was a pretty amazing story. But I do know that if there was somebody that could hold up to that, it'd probably be you.
Well, my story is probably pretty typical of everybody else, right? Like, I'm not feeling well. You go to the doctor, and I went to the doctor, and when they run all these tests and come back, she's like, "Hey, you ready for this? Your cholesterol's high. You're pre-diabetic. Your iron is dangerously low. Your vitamin D is low. Your B12 is low. Your estrogen is low. Your testosterone is low. We're going to need to put you on some thyroid medication." I mean, I'm like, is there anything that's good? She's like, well, I mean, your EKG came back okay. So like you're good, doing okay there for now. And I'm like, great. And she wanted to put me on a lot of medications. But of course, like at first, I'm like, no, let me try to do something on my own. So she gave me a 3-month cushion, set me up with a cardiologist. I decided to get on HRT, work my butt off, try to eat right, do all the things that I knew in 3 months I was going to be fine. So 3 months later, mind you, I have all these 3 appointments one day. Go to the cardiologist. She had me do my blood work beforehand. My cholesterol was worse. My A1C was worse. And I was just about in tears. I said, the only thing I've done different is get on HRT. I don't know. She's like, well, there's just not a lot of studies. Like, I don't know. Ask your gynecologist. Well, that's my next appointment. Go to that appointment. Mr. Gynecologist, before we do my next set of HRT, I have questions. My cholesterol has gone up. Like this and this is happening. I'm researching, thinking that this might be a side effect. And he's like, well, you got to weigh whether potential side effects or quality of life is what's most important to you. But since you have questions, I'm not going to give you your HRT today. So he refused treatment because I had questions. So I am devastated. My next appointment is with my primary, and I tell her about these 2 appointments I just had. And she says, well, I think that you'll be okay if you lose some weight. We have these great injections now. Let's try to do this. And starts asking me these questions. And she got to the question of, does anybody in your family have thyroid cancer? Yes, my aunt does. Like, big deal. I'm answering all these questions. She's spitfiring. She's like, oh, sorry, we can't do this for you. And I'm like, why? Like, so I was devastated and I was desperate because at this point now I'm 268 pounds. Like, I've never been that big in my entire life. I am tired. I can't show up for anybody in my life. I was depressed, unmotivated, just barely getting by. And so out of desperation, I decide I want to become a health coach because I want to know all the things to get me healthy. And at the same time, my husband had been following Jim. So I'm coming home from class and telling my husband about all these things I've learned. And he's like, hey, you should follow this guy on TikTok because he has this natural solution. He's saying all the things that you're saying and all the changes we're making. Like, I think that you should follow this guy. So I did for months, secretly behind the scenes. And eventually we decided we would order the product together, take the product together. We both needed it desperately, and had a fantastic experience, right? The first 3 months, like Adam went for his blood work first, perfect. Me second, not as fantastic, but wow, the difference was like, you know what I mean? We're okay. I don't have to see you again. Just keep doing what you're doing, which was wonderful. But what we did was we stopped taking the product after 90 days because we're like, hey, we're great. Let's just be okay. So about 6 months we didn't. We kind of plateaued. I went back to some bad habits. So that's the one thing about the product. It really does help you stay accountable, like to the things that you need to do. Because if not, I wake up in the morning, I pull out my Bible study, and I want a big mug of coffee. I say coffee, I use that loosely because it's like, sugar and cream with a tiny bit of coffee in it. But anyway, so we decided to get back on the product. So now we're another 3 months in. So total, everything is to normal. We're talking about even my vitamin D, my B12, my iron. I am no longer on thyroid medication. So, and I wholly believe that's because like my gut is getting right. I'm able to absorb these nutrients like I need to. Absolutely. I'm in a fantastic mood all the time. Well, yeah, our serotonin is made in our guts. Like, how does this not make sense? All of it is just so easy. And all I kept getting told was, well, you're perimenopausal. This is what happens. Like, women put, weight around their midsection. I'm like, that's the terrible weight. That is your visceral fat. That is horrible. Why are we telling people this is okay? This is not okay. This is not normal. And meanwhile, and not that I'm saying that I'm for or against HRT, right? But Some months I was good, some months I was not. But my HRT was giving me a constant of these hormones that I didn't need sometimes. So if my estrogen was normal one month and I'm still getting estrogen, I am bloated. I spent my wedding day bloated. I mean, it was insane. But now I'm thinking, like, I put them 2 and 2 together. I'm like, a lot of the symptoms that we deal with perimenopause, like if we're not trying to chase the estrogen problem or the testosterone problem, right? All of our symptoms that we say, brain fog, fatigue, we're gaining a little bit of weight, like, all these general things, like, why are we not treating this problem? Because women that are perimenopausal have a higher risk for insulin resistance. Like, it's just weird for me that wasn't just a light bulb. That was a light bulb moment for me. Like, that was my big moment. I am living a fantastic life. I have grandbabies. I can get on the floor with them. I can get up. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah. So I'm super excited. Like, I don't even know why we stopped.
Okay.
Did I miss anything, Jim? I'm sure I did.
No, and I think she hit it out of the park the same way, Dr. Tiffany. And what I love about her story, so the moment that I met Bianca, I don't know if there was because I reach out to people when they order, and the moment that I met her, I was like, there's something different about her. I feel like she understands what's going on, and I didn't know at the time that you were going through your health certification, and so she really did understand. But it's this mindset thing of, I'm going to beat this. I'm going to do this. And I do like the part of the story that says that Adam was right.
Yes, I know he would love to hear you say that. He's probably hearing you say that right now.
Okay. Dr. Tiff, do you got anything that you want to?
Oh, I do. 100% I do. I mean, the whole menopause and perimenopausal thing, that's where we get misdiagnosed all the time. It's almost like the anxiety when we have a heart attack. Anytime something's wrong with us, with the weight gain, the fatigue, oh, how old are you again? Oh, it's menopause. No, how about it's really insulin resistance? Or how about there's actually studies that show a ketogenic lifestyle can actually help even perimenopausal symptoms. So even if some of it is actual menopause, you could still benefit from these products. And so I love when you say what you do, because there's so many women getting those daggone testosterone pellets in their you know where they're getting them. They're getting them put all those places. They're getting whatever things they're getting, the creams, and they're still feeling miserable. Or they're having side effects from those hormones that they actually didn't need. They need to deal with the insulin resistance. So I love it. The other part I like, Bianca, is she was like, look, I'm gonna stop. I'm good. But my whole thing is, if you don't change your lifestyle, it's going to come right on back. So we've got to make some real changes. And most of us with these products, what happens is it makes us do these lifestyle changes and it holds us accountable. So yes, thanks for being vulnerable and sharing all of that. That was very helpful.
Yeah, I was desperate. Like, my 3 uncles have all died of heart disease. I had an uncle die at 42 from colon cancer. My brother died at 42 from heart disease. My cousin died at 36 from colon cancer. Like, I was terrified. And I was desperate.
Yeah.
And how simple is this?
I love the part of the story, Dr. Tiff, you kind of touched on it, and I'm partial to this. And I had a conversation with Bianca earlier and said, I want you to add this part to it. And that is the part where she did leave and then came back.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important. And I think that what it shows is that, we're all human, and you get to a place and you kind of take it for granted. You forget. It is amazing how quick we forget the pain, right? And you start feeling good and you're like, oh man, I got this licked. And you can absolutely get it licked. But you mentioned, waking up and having a cup of sugar with a splash of coffee, right? And that's the bad habit that got you sick in the first place. And if you don't change those bad habits, you're going to get sick again.
Yeah.
And so what I really like about that story is that, when you're given the option of, okay, which direction do I want to head in life? It's like, you know what, this is kind of easy. I'm just going to start doing this again. I know that it worked before. I'm sure it'll work again. And I love the fact that, truth be told, I think you've had better results the second time around than you had the first time around.
I did. Well, I was more consistent the second time than I was the first time, because I was still kind of skeptical, right? My husband saw way better results because he was more consistent. I mean, that's just I mean, if we want to just tell the truth, like I kind of slacked off a little bit the first time. Like second time, yeah, forget it. First week, like I'm like, wow, there's 8 more pounds. Like I hit a plateau I didn't know I hit. And I was like, wow, there's more. Okay. Like I'm all right with this. Let's keep going. Like so happy.
So my beautiful bride, oops, wrong person. There we go. It moved on me. I'd like to equate it to brushing your teeth. Just because you brushed them once and they're clean does not mean you don't have to continue brushing them. That is, go Amanda.
Leave it to Amanda to say something clever, right?
It worked. It worked. Okay. Okay. So same thing with you, Bianca. I'm gonna blast through the process here. I want to shut your camera down for about 4 minutes. I'm going to be quick here. I'm going to be really, really quick with how to use the system. And I'm going to bring you right back out to help answer any sort of questions that anybody might have for you. Does that work?
Works.
Okay. She's awesome. Absolutely awesome. I can't wait to meet Adam because, this guy seems like he's just a great guy. How does this work? Okay, let's talk about Unimate and let's talk about balance. And it's getting dark. It's getting darker earlier. I should have had some lights on, so I'm sorry. Let's talk about Unimate. So what is Unimate? Unimate is a yerba mate extract. And yerba mate is a tea down in South America. It's been pretty widely consumed for 500 to 1,000 years. Now, yerba mate has something inside of it called chlorogenic acid. And chlorogenic acid is one of these just really amazing things. Now, Dr. Tiff kind of touched on it a little bit ago, but what chlorogenic acid does is it helps, first off, it's a novel insulin sensitizer. It helps lower blood pressure. It helps aid in weight loss. It's an appetite suppressant. I want to emphasize that. It's an appetite suppressant. So when you're fasting in the morning, we sip on that tea. If you're afraid of fasting, or if you think that when you fast, all you're going to, Dr. Tiff, how many times have you tried to fast before this system and you find yourself staring at the clock, waiting for noon? At noon, I can eat something. This is hell. I don't want to be here. That goes away. You don't have that food noise. It kind of just goes away. So in the morning, we sip on this. Again, it lowers blood pressure. It aids in weight loss. It's an appetite suppressant. It helps control glucose. It helps control lipids. It helps induce GLP-1 production. All sorts of amazing things. In fact, this tea has about 20 times the chlorogenic acid of a typical cup of yerba mate. So if you're thinking, I'll just go buy a bag of the other stuff, sure. You're going to have to be in the bathroom a lot. It's going to take 20 cups to equal one of these, and we drink 2 a day. So you're going to be drinking 40 cups of yerba mate a day. To get to the same place, you're going to need a bathroom. So we sip on that, and that's the key. Sip on it. You're going to get a bottle like Dr. Tiff has right there. Dr. Tiff, I brought mine today. You're going to get a bottle like this. We call them a diamond bottle. On the back of it, it has a line that says Unimate. You just fill that up to there with cold water and add your packet of tea to it, shake it up, sip on it. Now, if you prefer it hot, you can do it hot. Don't do it hot in your plastic. Add it to a Yeti or something like that. I drink it hot. This also is about twice the volume of this. So I drink it hot and a little bit more diluted. That's the way I like it. It doesn't matter. Add as much or as little water as you want, as hot or cold as you want. Just sip on it. That's the key thing. Sip on it. When it's gone, drink the second one. You're going to get 2 with your kid. Drink the second one. Same way. Drink it cold this time. Drink it hot. I don't care. Sip on it. Now, before your heaviest meal of the day, you're going to drink the second product. And by heaviest meal, I mean the meal that has the most carbohydrates. I was talking to somebody today, and they said, yesterday I had it at lunch. I drank my balance at lunch. And then when I got to dinner, I had a slice of pizza. Should I have my balance then? I said, absolutely. That was when you should have drank your balances, right before that slice of pizza. So right before the meal that has the most carbohydrates in front of it, you drink this. And again, on the back of the bottle, there is a line for balance. Now, this one you do want to use cold. Don't add hot water to this. That's a mistake you'll make one time. And the other thing is don't overmix it. You're not going to sit there and shake this thing like it's a shake weight. You're not going to do a whole workout with it. It will turn into like Jell-O. You don't want that. Just shake it enough that it becomes kind of mixed. And then drink it like you're in a college frat party. Just get it down the hatch and then go and enjoy that slice of pizza. And literally that's what it is. That's the entire protocol. Now, Unicity accepts HSA cards, FSA cards, credit cards. You can work with Klarna. You can work. They are very flexible on the payments that they accept. The goal is to get you healthy. They want you to try their products for 90 consecutive days. Use their products for 90 consecutive days, and they guarantee your happiness. They used to guarantee blood test results. That was a little bit difficult to police. So now they just say happiness guarantee. I guess Mama wanted the lights on. Happiness guarantee. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, right. Let there be light. So basically what they're doing, they're guaranteeing you're going to lower your A1C. They're guaranteeing you're going to lower your cholesterol. They're guaranteeing. And after you listen to these testimonials, and I would encourage you to also go back through either Dr. Tiff's YouTubes or my YouTubes and watch past live streams and just see how this product has impacted so many different people in so many different ways. We've had people with Crohn's. We've had people with ulcerative colitis.
Yep.
I mean, we've had people, type 2 diabetics out the yin yang, men who have reversed erectile dysfunction, women with PCOS. We've had women who've had babies who thought that they were told they could never have babies. We've had women on here who have had babies because they were able to reverse their PCOS. Go back and watch our past videos. Now, if you want to order this system, just get with the person who invited you here. It costs $159 per month. That might seem steep. It's actually not. It costs about $5 a day. It's pretty reasonable. Invest a little bit of money into yourself. You've got nothing to lose, everything to gain. Dr. Tiff, did I miss anything, or are we pretty well? Did I square it away?
Nope, I think you did. I think you made it very clear. I mean, one of the things we get when we do get the products is the accountability, the group, the people, the peer support. Those are things that help us when Bianca's like, okay, I'm going to stop. If you're in the peer support group, you're like, okay, maybe I need to get back on. So that adds, I mean, that allows us to be so successful.
Absolutely. Okay, so this is my favorite part of the night. We get to ask people if they have any questions. And the questions are for anybody who's, any questions. Dr. Tiff, if you have a question for Bianca or Veronica, or if you have a question for me. I feel like I'm getting poked fun at. I feel like I'm being poked at in the audience. I feel like Amanda's over there just stirring the pot. While we're waiting for questions, I love to ask this question. I'm going to start with Veronica. Have there, by the way, been any questions, Dr.
No,
Tiff?
Amanda answered a question for us. I think we're good.
Okay. So, Veronica, I love to ask this question. And I'm really going to kind of pick at you a little bit because you were this person. There are a lot of skeptics in the audience. Mm-hmm. Actually, we were all skeptics, right? But you found your way in the hospital. So there are a lot of skeptics out there. They've got their friends that are saying, hey, try this, try this, try this, and they aren't doing it. 30 seconds. What are you going to say to that person?
I think that you should try it because, I mean, it's nothing to lose. I mean, you want to get healthy. So I think that you should try this product because, especially if you don't want to get to a point that, like I was, in the hospital you probably would have made it out there if you didn't know about this product. If I hadn't known about this product from the beginning and Myra wasn't there, I would get on it. At least try it. And you would get a good result. I think you have a great result from this. Keisha asks, how do you purchase the tea? So tea, I think that's tea. Ty, I'm probably butchering that. I think it's tea. Tea. What you'll do is you'll get with the person who invited you to this live stream. Whoever invited you to this live stream. Now, I believe you're watching the live stream through Dr. Tiff's Facebook page. In the event that you just stumbled across Dr. Tiff's Facebook page, just send her a direct message. She'll point you in the right direction, okay? I hope that answers your question, T. Bianca, same question to you. Skeptics. You know, as you worked with Adam, because Adam had this thing nailed. As usual, we should just listen to the husbands. But
what?
I am bringing it.
In this case. Okay.
what do you say to the skeptics that are out there, Bianca?
What I say to them is like, I've seen such a huge change in my life, and I've said this to you before. To me, I'm kingdom oriented, right? So if it's I'm doing people a disservice by not letting them know, like here's something for you that could change your life, right? This is something that could do good. Like I do a disservice by keeping it to myself, and I tell you not out of selfishness, but just out of love, right? I have such a huge love for people around me, even my strangers. Like, I want to see you do well. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you be healthy. To me, I'm an image bearer. I want other image bearers to feel what I'm feeling. So that's just kind of how I approach them. You have nothing to lose. 90 days with absolutely nothing to lose. Like, everything to gain, right? What I say, get healthy, stay healthy, get others healthy. Like,
And this is why I loved her, Dr. Tiff. This is what I was seeing a year and a half ago. It's like something
I
different
see.
about it.
I see.
Okay.
Two powerful ladies on here. I'm so happy you all are on this show.
Bianca, Veronica, these are amazing stories. Thank you, ladies.
yeah, Veronica, thanks for being so vulnerable. That is awesome.
Thank you, ladies. All right, I'm going to go ahead and shut these down. I'm going to give Dr. Tiff the last word. And Dr. Tiff, what do you say to people?
You know, I'm an imagery person, so I need everybody to come with me here. You know, much like Veronica was in the hospital bed, so was my brother. I literally walked into a room with him with IV up his arm, tube down his throat, the machine beeping in the background, right? So picture that as your loved one. And you've already listened to this call. You've already heard us talk about how these products are helping people with their sugar, their blood pressure, their cholesterol, how we're seeing people fight off things like heart disease. And you have a loved one sitting in that bed. Imagine that's your family member, and you now have knowledge. Why not share it with them? And then if you're the person that you know good and well you were on your way to that bed, why in the world are you waiting till you're at that bed? Praying for somebody to come through the door with your box. Veronica got blessed. My brother got blessed. But there's one person every minute dying of a diabetes complication in the US. It's I just can't. I just can't keep doing this every night without us telling the truth. If you know that that's where you're headed, and this is the only thing that you think you have left to try, give it a try. That is all I got. That is what I'm here for.
You know, Dr. Tiff, you just made me think of something. You said one person every whatever it was. And I know that we're running a little bit long, so just bear with me for a moment. Cost associated with diabetes. You said there's one person every second dying from something that is associated with diabetes. There was a study done that actually the Centers for Disease Control uses this study to figure its cost. You'll notice it was published on January 1st of 2024. So this is a year and a half old. The economic cost of diabetes in the United States in 2022. This is really interesting. The total estimated cost of diagnosed diabetes in the United States was $412.9 billion. Now, on average, people with diabetes incur annual medical expenditures of $19,736, of which $12,022 is attributable to diabetes. It costs you like $1,700 a month to have diabetes. And if you don't want it, well, it doesn't sound like you have to have it. It is literally a top 10 cause of death. It is quite literally cutting your time with your family and the people that you care about short. And you don't have to have it. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to have it. Do something about it.
Well, you literally have to, you're going to end up paying now or paying later. Somebody put in here a question. What would you say for a fixed income client who would want to try it but can't afford the product? What's so awesome is that we have a referral program. And that's what I use with a lot of my people is get 10 more people you know need this product and can afford it. One that'll bring down your cost. You'll get a credit. And then we start working through the fact that if you skip a meal, shoot, that pays for it.
Well, and I interviewed, actually, Michael subbed in for me 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Michael, the gentleman who subbed in for me 2 weeks ago, we also had him on late last year. Now, Michael has a very interesting story. He was on fixed income.
Mm-hmm.
He literally made $1,505. Now, he is open with that information, but he made $1,505 per month. And so 159 is over 10% of his entire income that he's allowed. And he says he was going through his income, his bank statements, and he noticed when he ordered in June, his average monthly balance went down because he ordered something that he didn't. But then he started skipping breakfasts, and then he started coming off his medications, and his average income, that line goes like this. It went way up, and he says, I was looking through my bank account saying, well, I know the government didn't give me more money. It was he actually started making money. When you figure you start skipping the meal pays for the product. But then the fact that he came off all of his medications, all those individual copays.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking about if you're just skipping breakfast, that pays for it. Michael, like so many of us, was also eating snacks all afternoon, all night. And so when you start eliminating those things, it made his income start climbing. And he called. I remember the day he called me. He was like, Jim, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Because I know they didn't give me more money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. Dr. Tiff, this was an amazing live stream. Bianca and Veronica, you two are absolutely amazing. This is one of my favorites of all time. Dr. Tiff, have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week.
You too. Thank you, everybody.